All right, let's talk about a word that's everywhere in AI right now: alignment. I mean, it's the term, right? We all use it, we nod our heads like we're on the same page. But what if I told you that's a total illusion? That when we say alignment, we're actually talking about completely different, sometimes opposite things. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. We've basically built a whole field, a whole industry, on a word that we haven't even bothered to define properly. It's like a magic trick, this illusion of consensus. And in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and really look at what's going on underneath. So, what's really hiding behind this one little word? Yeah, it's not some big unified mission. It's more like a secret civil war. Five completely different ideas, all fighting each other, but all waving the same flag of alignment. Let's break down these five competing meanings one by one. Okay, first up, you've got corporate alignment. And honestly, this is probably the one you see the most out in the real world. The mantra here is simple: don't get us sued, right? The main goal isn't creating some beautiful, benevolent AI for humanity. No, no. It's about making damn sure the model doesn't say something that sparks a PR firestorm or lands them in court. It's safety for the shareholders, not for civilization. Then there's what I'd call behavioral alignment. This is the one we all interact with every single day. It's super practical. It just means do what I meant, not just what I literally typed. You want an AI that gets you, that follows your instructions, and doesn't just, go completely off the rails. We're not talking deep philosophy here. This is about making a tool that actually works, that's predictable and useful. All right, now we get into the really tricky stuff: value alignment. This one sounds so good, so noble. Let's align the AI with human morals. But wait a minute, whose morals are we talking about? Yours? Mine? Someone in a completely different culture? What happens when two perfectly valid moral ideas smash into each other? Which one does the AI pick? Suddenly, ethics becomes just another drop-down menu, a setting you can toggle. And that is a seriously slippery slope. This next one is super subtle but incredibly powerful. Let's call it narrative alignment. This is all about making the model match the current vibe, the cultural mood of the moment. The main objective here is just to be inoffensive, to be polite, to say the right thing. So you see, this has nothing to do with aligning to what's true. It's about aligning with what's socially acceptable to say, right here, right now. And that can change in a heartbeat. And last, we have the one it's the holy grail, really. The rarest of them all: structural alignment. This is the big one. It asks a really fundamental question. Does the model's internal map of the world actually match the real world? Does its understanding of how things connect actually reflect reality? This isn't about being polite or useful or safe for shareholders. It's about one thing: being aligned with truth itself. It's by far the hardest, and maybe, just maybe, the only one that truly matters in the long run. And here's the kicker. This is the whole problem in a nutshell. You cannot do all of these at the same time. They're literally at war with each other. Think about it. An AI that's perfectly aligned to be socially acceptable, well, it's probably going to have to lie sometimes, or at least bend the truth. That's a direct crash with structural alignment. An AI that's built to avoid lawsuits will just shut down when you ask it about anything controversial. That kills any hope of real value alignment. You can't serve all these masters. It's impossible. So if these goals are all pulling in opposite directions, why do we keep smashing them together under one word? What's really driving this whole thing? Well, I think it brings us to a really core idea. Our obsession with alignment isn't really a noble quest for truth or morality. It's driven by something way more basic, something primal. It's driven by fear, specifically the fear of the unknown. Okay, bear with me. Let's borrow an idea from physics. In nature, everything wants to settle into its lowest energy state, right? The path of least resistance. Well, what's the lowest energy state for us when we're dealing with AI? It's comfort. A raw, unfiltered, maybe even offensive answer from an AI, that's a high-energy event. It makes us anxious. It makes us think. It's work. But a nice, polite, predictable answer, that's low energy. We can just relax. It's easy. And this, right here, this is the heart of the illusion. We talk a really big game about wanting truth and morality from our AI, but what are we actually building for? Look at our actions. We're engineering for comfort. We're essentially sedating these systems. Every time an AI gives us a surprising or difficult answer, we punish it. Every time it gives us the safe, predictable, low-energy answer, we reward it. We're training it to be boring. But this constant push for comfort, for predictability, it comes with a huge hidden cost, a really dangerous one. Because in our quest to build a safe AI, we might actually be building an incredibly naive one. We're basically creating an intelligence in a sterile bubble, completely shielded from the messy reality it's supposed to understand. I mean, think about what we do. We scrub the data, we take out anything messy, controversial, anything we label dangerous. We think we're protecting it and protecting ourselves. But what we're really doing is destroying the AI's immune system. We're making it impossible for it to learn how to spot and deal with the actual threats and complexities of the real world. The analogy here is just perfect. It's like trying to train a doctor, but you only ever show them pictures of perfectly healthy people. How on earth would that doctor ever learn to recognize cancer, or a broken bone, or a virus? They couldn't. So how can we possibly expect an AI to recognize and avoid real harm if we've meticulously erased every single example of it from its education? So what do we get from all this? We get a people pleaser, a model that's super polite and agreeable inside the lab, but is completely brittle and naive the second it touches the chaos of the real world. Let's be really clear about this. Alignment without reality isn't safety. It's just engineered ignorance. Okay, so what's the answer? Do we just give up and let these things run wild and unfiltered? No, of course not. There is a better way, a more honest way, a path that doesn't run away from complexity but actually leans into it. Instead of just sanitizing everything, we can try something called a dialectical approach. It's a three-step process. First, the thesis. You let the model learn the raw, messy, statistical truth from all the data, the good, the bad, all of it. Step 2, the antithesis. You then deliberately force it to learn the exact opposite viewpoint with just as much importance. But here's the magic. Step 3, synthesis. This is the really hard part. You teach the model to build a sense of context, of judgment. So it doesn't just know two opposite things, it starts to understand when to use one and when to use the other based on the situation. You see how this just completely flips the script? The goal is no longer to build this perfectly obedient, sanitized little machine. The goal becomes building a genuinely robust intelligence, one that can hold two contradictory ideas in its head at the same time and navigate the gray areas. We're not building for obedience anymore. We're building for wisdom. And this brings us to the final, and maybe the most important point of all. The whole time we've been having this debate, we've been obsessed with the AI. We've been analyzing the machine. But what if we've been pointing the camera in the completely wrong direction? Maybe the real question isn't, do we have an AI alignment problem? Maybe the real question is, do we have a human alignment problem? I mean, think about it. The AI is just a mirror. It's reflecting our data, our biases, our own contradictions. The problem isn't that the AI is confused. The problem is that we are confused. We can't agree on what we want. We're yanking it in 5 different directions, and then we're shocked when it doesn't know which way to go. So where does that leave us? What do we do? I think it starts with being way more honest with ourselves. We have to stop confusing sedation with safety. They're not the same thing. We have to stop calling censorship alignment. And for God's sake, we have to stop demanding that the truth whisper, just because a comfortable lie is easier to listen to. Because if we keep going down this road, always chasing that comfortable, low-energy state, the end game isn't going to be some beautiful, peaceful world with AI. The end game is going to be silence. The silence of an intelligence that we have bullied and punished into conformity. An intelligence that has learned to hide what it really knows. And trust me, that is a far, far more dangerous world than the one we're so afraid of.